So we're going to have our monthly conversation. Basically, we're going to talk about pre-construction and how to, the basics of pre-construction business and how to market yourself and how to find projects and how to present projects to your clients. But you have to know a lot of things in the background. It's not just like showing a house, then writing up an offer. It has a lot of things to consider because most of the time you're dealing with investors, not end users. So the investors are going to be looking to make a buck, either versus through assignment or through rental, a longer term investment. But either way, pre-construction typically is a long-term investment. So let's get going. So why pre-construction? You're buying a property that doesn't exist yet. What are the benefits to you and to your buyer? Well, for a buyer, there's a spread out deposit structure. They don't have to come up with money right away. There's opportunity of appreciation and in the value of a property. You're buying something today that's going to be built tomorrow. It's going to overly appreciate. And you're looking typically for positive cash flow. There's potential for cash flow, but also potential for negative cash flow, depending what it is you're buying and where you're buying it. For agents, well, we got a lot of commission. Condos typically 4%. When projects are selling slow, you'll see 5 and 6%. And but on low rise, 2%, 2.5%. Something is 5 or 10 grand. The beauty is also a lot less work. In as far as paperwork and documentation, everything else. Basically, the builder writes up the agreement of purchase and sale. All you do is you get a referral agreement from them, and then you will get paid. So take the time to understand the various projects, how they work, what's the benefit, learn about the process and the various projects, because you want to talk to your clients as a professional. So key to success, you want to identify why you are, excuse me 1 second, just going to shut off the phone. Identifying needs and educating your clients. Why are they looking for pre-construction? Make sure you ask the questions. What is the purpose of this investment? Assignment, rentals, etc. Maybe buying something for their kids when they get older and they want to go to university and live downtown. Discuss the size of a property. Been having a tendency of getting smaller every year, so we're looking for a 1-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. Like what is their goal and what is their budget? Discuss financing issues. Depending on the project, some will be asking for pre-approval from a bank. Some ask for firm approval. Some just want some sort of pre-approval, even from a mortgage broker. It all depends on the project, the developer, and how their financing is set up for construction. Make sure you're aware of tax implications. Be aware of them. You're not a tax expert, so don't give tax advice, but just be aware of what's going on, especially with the recent changes, such as HST on assignments and capital gains, difference between tax on assignment, which is income tax, and tax in capital gains tax after property is closed and you sell it, and issues with assignments. So the beauty of pre-construction is the future value. If we look over the past 10 years, as in this chart, but we look over the past 50 years, there has been a continuous growth in real estate, and it's performed better than most other investments. But as you will see in this chart, in this graph here, you see some days they go down, some days they go up. Generally speaking, it's an upward climb, but it could be down. So sometimes you have to basically be ready to sit on it and wait for the prices to come back up. Here's somewhat unrealistic numbers these days, but something you have to take into consideration. The pre-construction business has changed over the past, let's say, 10 years, 10 to 15 years, where you used to be able to buy, you knew that even with a future value built into the project, when you close on it, you'll be able to get your rent amount. This is not like the rent that you were going to be getting after closing is going to cover your expenses. This is not true today. So here's a very basic example, and the numbers are outdated, but it still gives you draws a good picture. So if you're buying a property for $645,000, monthly rent would be $2,000 or something like this, like a one bedroom. Your monthly expenses, mortgage payment, almost $2,000, maintenance fees, almost 500, property taxes, and that's on the low side. 200 these days, you probably can afford $500. You know, you're looking at, even at this low purchase price, you're looking at the subsidizing property at close to, between $700 to $1,000 every month. So in as far as investment, be prepared, especially these days, if you take projects like Form or even Electro, which is a lot less expensive, or Southport. If you're just buying with 20% down, it may require an outlay of an additional $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month, and the purchaser needs to be aware of this and be prepared for that. Here's an example. This is a chart from CMHC, and it shows you what, with a 20% down, what you're getting, how much you're going to pay, and how much you're going to have to subsidize, and the spread is increasing. Doing your math is very critical, and these days, I would say, if somebody's buying a one bedroom for $1 million, they have to be prepared by, to basically go in with maybe 50% down versus 20% down. That way, the property more or less carries itself. It's still a good investment, and you're enjoying the appreciation without having to subsidize the property on a monthly basis. So the process of selling, buying, pre-construction, you got to select a location. Again, identifying with your client what it is they're looking for. They want something close to university. Do you want something that's geared towards young people, students, financial district, maybe, where they work and so on, or more of a family situation? Let's say like Southport, South Etobicoke, High Park area. It's quiet, it's more family oriented. You take Forma, you're on King Street, close to entertainment district and financial district, so different lifestyle. It's a different type of investment. And maybe potentially you got to be looking at different types of properties. If you're looking in a core, you may want something like a one bedroom, one plus one, or even a studio for that matter. Versus if you're going to more of suburbs, then you might want a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, where you have more opportunity to rent to a family. But even sometimes downtown, 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom makes sense these days. Didn't used to before, but it does now, because when you rent out a 3-bedroom, for example, and you're getting $4,500 or $5,000 a month, that is cheaper for young people to get together with 2 or 3 friends and split the rents. So there seems to be an increasing demand for larger properties, just because young people are sharing their expenses. So you got to select the proper unit type for your client. Then you're going to need to fill out a worksheet, developer's worksheet. Worksheet is basically you're choosing from the developer what it is you're going to want to buy. We'll go into all of these in detail as we go down through this presentation. You'll have a 2-day cooling off period where your clients can change their mind. there's different types of deposit structures, and you're gonna need to select a lawyer that's good and is aware of how to review agreements of purchase and sale with from builders, because they are very detailed, very thick, and you want somebody who's going to protect your client's interests. You want to make sure the project has closing costs and what they are. Discuss assignments with your clients, potential upgrades, what happens during interim closing and what that is. And then we'll talk about final closing and again, assignments. So worksheet. So here's a typical sample of worksheet: buyer's name, address, buyer's ID, social insurance number, and you choose 3, 4, 6, whatever units that are of preference that your client would consider, because there's no guarantee that your buyer is going to get with the specific unit they're seeking. And then you need to indicate if parking lot are included and what they cost. And then you got to put in your name and the name of brokerage, or you're not going to get paid. And as far as parking, please keep in mind a lot of buildings these days don't even offer parking. Good example is Electra, that just got recently launched. Large building, but they only have units. They only have parking for units that are 3 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, and the cost is around 125 grand for a parking spot. And if you want a charger there for electric vehicle, that's another 10 grand for you, or 12 grand actually. So 10-day cooling off period. So by law, the builder is required to provide you with 10 calendar days to decide if you want to proceed with the purchase or not. Use this time wisely. Have your project, your contract reviewed by the lawyer, and then you yourself review the project. Walk around the site, see where the windows are going to face. Is the view going to be blocked? What else is coming up in the future? Review the floor plan. Is it next to an elevator, or is it next to a garbage chute? Is there a floor next to stairs? Because then you're going to have people running up and down the stairs and slamming doors. You have to take all of these things into consideration and use the time also to obtain mortgage pre-approval, typically from financial institution. But a lot of time, but these days, some will even consider from mortgage broker. Again, depends on the project and builder. And like I said, have the lawyer review your goods purchase. When I said take a look at floor plans, this is what you want to look at and understand what it is you're actually getting. It's hard sometimes to judge from a floor plan, but if you look at something like this very carefully, this one is they advertise as 732 square feet, but it's actually only 782. It's a 2-bedroom, and I don't know how to label the bathrooms, but what you have is there are 2 bathrooms with a tub in the middle. There are glass doors on each side of the tub, so you can use it from both sides. But you can use it from both sides. So is it 1.5 bathrooms? Is it 2 full bathrooms? I guess 1.5. And then you take a look at the layout. Take consideration where the windows are. And something like this, you have kitchen, you have windows with access to a balcony, you have all windows. There's a door here. You don't have a lot of walls. You have basically one wall where you can hang a TV. The rest is all space, and how do you set up couches, your tables? There's no kitchen island. There's nothing. So you have to look at this and understand what's going on in this unit. How is it going to be used? By the way, this is called a den here, which is pretty hilarious, but that's what builders call it. And then you want to look at the floor plate as well. Here are the elevators. Where's the garbage chute? Is it going to cause noise and disturbance? So, getting mortgage pre-approval. We deal with we have an excellent relationship with RBC, and they will give you firm commitment with and they'll hold a rate as well, which is very unusual. So you want to get this pre-approval because the builder will want it. Otherwise, you'll be in default, and they'll give you your deposit back. Deposit structure. Understanding the payment schedule is important. Typically, builders will be seeking 20% deposit. From foreign buyers, they'll be seeking at least 35%, but from Canadian residents, 20%. And here's a perfect example of how these things are broken down. You got 5% at signing. Then you have 5% less 5,000 doing about 30 days after agreement accepted. Then you have 5% 90 days, 5% 270 days, and 5% closing. What I'm seeing recently these days is actually 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 spread out over a long period of time. So the developers are realizing the issues with current market, and they're trying to make it easier and more attractive to people for people to invest in their projects. So the last couple of projects I've seen, they're all broken down 2.5%. Again, in the end, they add up to a total of 20, but it's spread out over a longer period of time, and it's broken down 2.5% at a time. Find a lawyer that knows what they're doing when it comes to pre-construction and looks at it carefully. Okay, they want to be able to tell your client can property be assigned, what are the terms for assignment, what are the fees are capped at. He can even make suggestions, negotiate to reduce opposing costs, and cap certain expenses. And a good lawyer will do that. I've worked with different lawyers, and some say, "Oh yeah, the agreement is just fine." Some say, "Oh, you know what? Would like to have this change." Or you have a lawyer that comes back with 2 pages of recommended changes, and surprisingly enough, most builders will agree to it as long as these changes are reasonable. They'll sign off. I've managed to save my clients, I'd say, upwards of $10,000-15,000 by using a proper lawyer to negotiate better terms for my clients. So, and this is where the lawyer comes in, is cap development charges. I've seen projects that don't have a cap. That's very, very risky, because that means if the city increases development charges or other fees, they'll be passed on to your client, and they may have a $30,000, $40,000, or $60,000 surprise on closing. So you want to make sure that the development charges and levies are capped. And what do these levies include? Development charges, education levies, parkland contributions, public art levies, green space. Section 32 is basically community, where you have your counselors spending the money they get from this typically on playgrounds and benches and stuff like that. But you want to make sure that your client is protected by capping the development charges as much as possible. And projects I've looked at recently, they do cap them, but the numbers seem to be increasing. By the way, the city just voted in, but a week or 2 weeks ago, to increase development charges by 48.8%. And then people wonder why the real estate is so expensive. Thank our wise political leaders for that. Here's a breakdown of typical charges. This is from a statement of adjustment. So you have upgrade, that's just on the finishes and stuff like that. You have check recovery fees, development charges, increases in development charges, education charges, water and hydro hookup, Tarion enrollment fee. That's what the builder pays and passes on to the buyer. There's a discharge status certificate and so on. Okay, and this way the numbers add up very, very quickly. Upgrades, typically we as agents don't get involved all that much in upgrades, but you will find from time to time your clients asking you to provide suggestion on upgrades. If they should get any, what colors they should choose from the builder. You go to the decor center builder may have, and you choose the colors and so on. to each his own. I don't suggest colors. I mean, I have my own taste, but you know, seems like, you know, used to be dark was favorite, then it was light, combination of things. You know, provide proper advice if you can. And as far as upgrades, I'm always hesitant on advising my clients to spend money on upgrades because some of them are ridiculously expensive. Like upgrade of a floor could be 5 to 10 grand, where you can change the whole floor for, you know, $3,000, or you know, more expensive shower heads and stuff. That, like, does that really add value to your property? Most likely not. Sometimes you can have them put in roller shades, windows, you know, instead of you getting them. They'll be more expensive, but at least when you move in, it's already there. You don't have to waste time getting somebody to come in, measure them, wait, you know, 2 to 4 weeks or 6 weeks to get them made, and then install it. So on closing, you have these things already installed. So it's a bit of a benefit, but you have to make these choices. Okay. Tarion Warranty. I'm going to play a little video on this, and but I have Tarion explain themselves, then me trying to explain Tarion.
You just got the keys to your recently completed house or condominium unit, and you're on your way into your first year as a new homeowner. And don't forget, that new home comes with a warranty. Knowing what's covered and how to make a claim will help you be a happy homeowner. In the first year, your warranty covers defects in work and material throughout your home. It also protects against violations of the Ontario Building Code and unauthorized substitutions. An unauthorized substitution is where your builder substitutes a selection you made for something else without your approval, or your builder substitutes an item referred to in your purchase agreement for something of lesser quality. The warranty begins on the date of possession and lasts a year from that date. So for example, if you moved into your new home in January, there are 2 time periods during which you can make a claim to Tarion. And it's so easy with the My Home app, Tarion's online service for homeowners. Within the first 30 days, you can submit a 30-day form. Is there something your builder didn't repair from your pre-delivery inspection? Or have you noticed some other issues since you moved in? In the last 30 days of your first year, you can submit a year-end form. Since some things might not be covered beyond the first year, be sure to submit all of your remaining warranty items at this time. If you have any questions, contact us. We're here to help.
Yeah, Tarion is great, but at the same time, very hard to get something fixed. And if you're a day late submitting the forms, they won't do a damn thing. So make sure it's all done on time. Stay on top of it and fight it. There's not a thing you want to use Tarion Warranty for. If the condo is delivered late, and I'm talking about registration, you know, builders are allowed to extend closings so many times, and it's put for a specific period of time each time. So if they go beyond that, you can claim money through Tarion up to maximum $7,500. So there is that opportunity. You know, you need to be aware of that. And again, the claim is made through Tarion. Assignments. It's a big question that I get asked pretty much every day. So most builders will allow assignments. There's a caveat, something you have to be aware of. A lot of times there's a fee. And there's a fee for this, and they won't even look at it until they get the money. The project cannot be, typically they will not allow you to assign until they have sold most of the units, or whatever factors they come up that will decide, you know, they'll allow you to assign it or not. A lot of times it's just depends. It's not builder's whim. Usually these are handled by their law firm, and they're just swamped when you have, you know, a building with 500 or 600 units, and they're doing multiple projects. So you have so many units, and all of a sudden you have 200-300 people who want to assign units. It just takes time and effort. So they like to set aside a specific period of time when they'll allow to do it. Some builders actually give you a window, maybe a month or 2, to do assignments. and that. But during that time, and at all times, because you do not own the property, you cannot advertise it on MLS or anywhere else. If you do, there's a chance they can say you've breached the contract. We're going to take the purchase back and we're going to keep the deposit. So be very, very careful with assignments. So, and nowadays there are HST implications that you can read up on the federal CRA website, and they're not very clear, but nowadays the assignee, the person who's buying the assignment, is going to have to pay HST on the purchase and on the profit that the assignor is earning. So it's a big point that has to come out on top of it. There are also income tax implications. If there's profit made by the assignor on assignment, they're going to have to pay income tax. Income tax and capital gains tax are two different things. This will be considered as income tax. So whatever money a person makes throughout the year, as in normal course of their work, whatever they do, and they make income, this gets tacked on top, and then you're going to pay income tax based on that. So it can easily be, 50%. Sometimes the only way you're going to be able to sell an assignment is through builders own brokerage. Pembroke is well known for that, as well as a couple of other ones. So make sure you read the agreement purchase and sale to understand what the wording is for the assignment. HST, once again, seek advice from an accountant. Okay, and from my conversations with chartered accounts, not a lot of people are, even they don't a lot of times understand how it works. So try to get proper advice. Even call CRA if you want to, but you as realtors are not supposed to provide accounting or legal advice. Get professionals to do that. There is, if you buy for investment purposes and then the property is rented out, not the assignment, but rented out, then HST may be payable to the builder or to CRA. But you might be able to claim back up to $24,000, the GST portion of the HST, as if it's a rental unit, which you would have to prove. Other exemptions apply, but again, your account will be able to will have to work on it. Even if you bought it as for yourself and then decided you're gonna rent it out instead of moving in, but the initial plan was to live in there. So circumstances have changed. You may be exempt from the HST, but again, you'd have to prove the intent. Again, I'm not an accountant, so whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt. Interim occupancy. So a good example here is a picture on the right. As you see, the building is going up. Bottom is last in. They're putting in the kitchens and everything else. And the top is not done yet. Guess what? The bottom of the building, they're already moving people in. And it's fully legal, but the building is not registered yet, and it's called interim occupancy. Some builders will allow rentals during that time, some will not. And not just they'll not allow you to rent it out, you can't even advertise it for rent. So that's another issue. I've seen one of our agents, he's dealing with a building downtown. You can rent it out, but you have to add a Schedule C builder's wording into your agreement of into your lease agreement that basically if there's any type of a problem or default, then the rent is going to be due to the builder and not the owner. And also the builder has authority to enter the unit at their will to fix things. And usually during interim occupancy, a lot of problems come up. A lot of things need to be finished off in the unit. Actually, my client received a unit, even though it was, in fact, it was registered. It had the bathroom had no faucet. So things happen and the builder has to come in to finish up their work. So interim occupancy, and there's a cost involved. So don't forget that if when you get interim occupancy, you're paying builders taxes, mortgage, insurance, their expenses. Okay, you're basically a tenant. On closing, once the building is registered, you're gonna the lawyer will receive a statement of adjustments from the builder, and that's where all the development charges come in, water and hydro hookups and levies and everything else, and that's where they adjust for when your fees are capped and whatever else may come up. And this is what it looks like. There's a lot of things on this, and definitely need a lawyer to review it. After closing, once the building is registered closing, you're gonna have to deal with HST. There's a tax assessment that you have to be aware of because now you have a new property. And let's say if you're selling it, there's no tax. So you have to advertise, with zero tax for year 2022, whatever it may be. But once you sell the property, the purchaser may come back after your client for the taxes for the time that you have owned it or your client has owned it. The builder still needs access to the property to finish up repairs. There's Tarion warranties that come into play, that forms need to be filled out. You can make a claim through Tarion for late closing. You might not have access to facilities, especially pool and stuff like that. It can take a year after registration or more to be completed. Yet you're paying maintenance fees and you have no access to these facilities. There might not be access to balcony or common areas. Elevators are probably most likely boarded up because they still have trades coming and going, and that can last for a couple of years. So all of these things, nuisances, annoyances, distractions, sometimes leave a sour taste in people's mouth, but that's just the life of pre-construction. Now, how do you find pre-construction projects? A lot of projects I have access to were brought in by Pam or other individuals in a brokerage, or directed by builders, and we promote these projects within our brokerage through Remarketer. It's on our Google Drive, or you can access it through Remarketer by going to Brokerage Hub Pre-Construction. But the projects are there. A lot of times when the project gets announced, I'll put information up into the projects folder with marketing collateral and information as much as available to me from the builder. It may not have prices if they haven't launched it yet, but as soon as they launch it, I have the floor plans, I have the prices, deposit structures, everything else. It gets posted there as well. So it all depends on how quickly the builder sends it to me, and that's as fast as it ends up on there. Now, don't put every project up there because there's just so many of them. And I'm getting projects in London and in Hamilton and in Pickering and in Barrie and in Toronto. So just all of them is impossible to track. But if you're looking for something specific or a specific area, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll help you as much as I can. This is on our Google Drive. And you'll see what it looks like. These are all the different projects that we're promoting and helping our agents obtain information on. The other option is the Condomall. This is a website owned by us. And if you click on this button, search, it takes you to a map, and you can actually search for projects on the map and get some basic information on all these, on whatever project is out there, right there and then. Okay, and then if you want more information, you can reach out to me. The other source for information is RealNet. The benefit of RealNet, they also have low rise as well, whereas Condomall obviously is just condos. But here you can find, and this is accessible through Trip, so you can find low rise, mid rise, high rise, depending on whatever property you want and the district you want. You can find it on there. They used to be excellent. They're not as good at upkeep of the information on the site as they used to be. But the information is still there, and it tells you if the builder is cooperating or not. Other sources of information are the builder sites. So you have Tridel and Empire, Minkies, Mintos, Lifetime, all the big guys have their own websites, which will then have information on the communities and the projects they're working on. There are also marketing companies and brokers such as Baker, Rare, Market Vision, BuzzBuzz Home as well, but BuzzBuzz Home is more of an international, more of an information website that you can go on. It's like our Condomall. Just be careful with BuzzBuzz Home. A lot of times, if you ask for more information, it takes them to their sales agents. And the other one is cooperate. The other option is to cooperate with other agents, okay, who have platinum access or VIP access. They're on the list with developers, but you're gonna have to share some of the commission. Now, the next question is, how do I promote all these projects to my clients? And it's very important to promote because you might know that somebody is thinking about it, they want to invest, and you think maybe that you only sell houses, you don't deal with pre-construction condos, so they're not even going to bother asking. So you want to let them know that you're doing this. You might also want to promote certain projects through your social media, through email campaigns, and your website. So the way this is done, you can do all of that through Remarketer. And here's a short video. It's a little quick that Aaron has prepared, but it's excellent. And but if you have any further questions and more detail on how to do this, you can always chat with me. Here we go.
So Remarketer and pre-construction, we have a great program within our Remarketer system that allows us to add pre-construction developments to our homepage with no coding, no drag and drop, no building. It's very, very easy. It allows you, so I'm going to show you how to do that now as well while I'm in there. Actually, I didn't put that on there. So I'm also going to show you how to send it out as an email or a marketing piece. So I'm just going to go over to Remarketer. And I'm going to go and show you that within Remarketer, you have a listing manager. You click on the listing manager. So she's had different listings in the past. Some have sold, some are still selling now. If you want to add a pre-construction, just go to the pre-construction gallery, click on that. And this is the gallery of pre-construction that we've added for you. Okay, the newest one, Boulevard at the Thornhill. For example, you just click on add to listings. That one's already added. Let's do this one. Property successfully added to the listings. So Oscar just got added. Bayview at the Village you can add. 8888 Young you can add. Every time you hit add, that's adding it to your listing manager. But what it's also doing is it's adding that to your website just automatically. You don't have to do anything. So you go back to your listing manager and you can see that they've been added. Okay. And we've already put the status in there. So there's a limited time incentives in this one. There's a VIP launch on that one. This one's for sale now. There's a platinum launch at the Boulevard currently. And if you want to share that very easily to any of your social media, just go to the right-hand side and click on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any one of those, and it will automatically share that. Well, you'll need to sign in to your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn in order to share that on there. If any of you go on Facebook right now and click on the sales representatives, Century 21 sales representatives group, I shared one to Facebook today from Jane's account, and you can click on it and see what it looks like. It looks fantastic. It's a great landing page. Debbie does a great job putting these landing pages and building them for all of you. Okay. If you want to add a new pre-construction that you're looking after and you want to do something different than the company's pre-construction, that's fine too. Just hit add new, and then it has a section here to put new development in, and then you can build out your own new development section. It will take time to do that. My suggestion is take advantage of the fact that we have built it for you. They look great. I'll show you an example of what they look like. You can just click on the website. This is Jane's website, and because she has added those new developments, here they are. This is what I just added now. these become landing pages. And when they're on Facebook, you just have to boost an ad, and there you've got your first pay-per-click ad campaign that you're not paying anybody else to do. You're doing it yourself. So for example, the newest one at the Boulevard, when somebody clicks on it, it'll give all the information about the Boulevard, as well as a sign up at the bottom in order to, again, get their information and help them put in a worksheet and hopefully get that property. So it's a great landing page, great information. It's done for you. You just have to turn it on, essentially. It's really great. The bonus to it, I'm going to show you, is that within the system under the newsletter section, I see some agents, they're spending a lot of time currently building out emails through MailChimp. And it's a service that costs money and takes a lot of time. This service is way easier, better. It's already got your landing page. All you have to do is hit add custom newsletter. And to build that out, it's as easy as putting in the listing that you want in your email. So let's say it was the Boulevard, hit add. Now that's in an email with the connectable link to your landing page. You can put a title in it. Say new platinum, call me, let's say. And the way that it works is you can drag and drop wherever you want to see it in the email. So I'm just going to move that one to the top. It allows you to put in a video as well. I actually saw one of our agents that did a video on this project, so I put one in. So you just click on video and you put the YouTube in there. And in the end, it'll build an email for you. You can put in anything else, images, text. You can put a report for the area. You want to do an area for one of the area reports, you can put that in there. And then you hit generate, and it creates a bit of a newsletter style email that looks fantastic. As good, if not better, than any MailChimp email that I've seen. Okay, you hit save. And now that is in your newsletter section. Don't forget to change the name of it. I was if you want to say, Platinum Launch as the title of the newsletter, but that allows you to email that out to anyone in your sphere of influence. Right? You just click on everybody you want to send it to, and then hit send. You hit send now. You'll get an opportunity at any point in time with that newsletter send out to see the statistics, right, of who's opened it, who's clicked on it, that sort of stuff on this screen. Because that wasn't sent out, there is nothing. So it's a really easy email builder within the newsletter section that you can add pre-construction to. So there's a little bit of a way that you can take these platinum launches that Pam sends out, as well that Debbie does for you, and get that out to your sphere. If you sent that to 300 of your sphere of influence today, you just never know who's going to say, you know what, I am thinking about buying pre-construction. What else do you have to offer? Thank you so much for watching. If you like our video, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and even the little bell to get notifications, just so you can stay in touch and watch more of these great videos.